late veg or that's just early veg. But later on we'll get into topping and pruning because you're gonna have to,
Yeah.
Right now you just got a lot of information about watering. I just can't tell you. Now you got to cut your bitch head off.
Right.
You ain't ready for that.
Now you did all this shit to keep the environment right, keep the temperature right for her ass. And she get nice and pretty. Then we're gonna say cut the bitch head off.
Not cut the bitch head off.
But it's gonna be for a great purpose. Like it's gonna be for an awesome purpose for tent room and plant. You know what I'm saying? Plant size shit. I was trying to get. You know what I'm saying? Throw the 2 P's in there, but the other P wouldn't come out. So shit.
You want to come out?
Just plant I tried again. It wouldn't do it. So I'm gonna leave it alone. But yeah, man. Shit. The nutrients.
So y'all want to get into to pruning now?
Getting the pruning now?
Yeah, let's get to it, man. I wanna know more about this because I've always seen it, man. The shit looks traumatic, man. Like if I'm growing a plant and somebody's, I've seen this process done, and I'm like, damn, that shit looks so pretty before. But what does this do for the plant, and why do we do this?
So,
yeah, trees break it down because
So you remember, they weeds. They weeds. Right. So the whole phrase, term "growing like a weed," that means some shit. Now in veg, I call them little wolverines because they heal like a motherfucker in veg. You can mutilate that bitch in veg, and she gonna bounce back harder if you water her. If you fertilize her ass right and giving her the water, she gonna bounce back. All right,
from anything.
Now the reason we do that is
anything.
Just like, for instance, my dumb ass, way back in the day, before I even started smoking, I thought that the big 5-blade cannabis leaves was what the fuck you was smoking. That what you saw. When you saw weed leaf, I thought that was, that's what was it. I didn't know what the fuck a bud was. I had no clue. Me and my little badass cousin, remember Will Earl? We in the backyard crumpling up goddamn leaves that done fell off the trees, rolling them up in brown paper bags, smoking them motherfuckers. That's how I knew smoking was in my heart, in my soul as a youngin'.
Because it smelled like it a little bit.
Because it smelled like it a little bit. So I thought it was them fan leaves.
I've been there.
It was bad motherfucker.
Man, them goddamn fan leaves don't smoke shit, all right?
Shit.
They got 3 purposes. First purpose is they big ass solar panels. They bring in the food. That's how they catch the food. The light is your food, and the fan leaves is the receptors for said food that takes that light energy and turns it into a carbohydrate to power the growth. They give some of that food to the bacteria in the root zone. All right, the plant produces its own bacteria like we produce our own bacteria in our stomach. That's why all us as black men can't fuck with no lactose after a certain age because ain't no goddamn bacteria to break that shit down no more.
Shit real.
We ain't got it.
Right.
All right.
Like, niggas like I used to love cheesecake in my teenage year. Motherfucking turn 40, goddamn cheesecake is like a whole goddamn 2-day process. Like goddamn. Cheesecake tore me apart.
I gotta make sure I got nothing to do tomorrow.
I ain't got nothing to do tomorrow. Same concept with the plants, you know what I'm saying? They got their own bacteria and they feed that bacteria with carbohydrates brought in through the fan leaves. So that's the number one goal, the number one purpose of it right there. That powers photosynthesis. Because when the lights go off,
photosynthesis,
you're taking the food away. Mm-hmm. But the bitch still got to live. So she relies on that stored energy that's accepted through the fan leaves. All right. Number 2 is they big ass storage facilities. Meaning that when you see a leaf problem, that means your plant is taking those nutrients that's needed away from those fan leaves.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So they storage for nutrients and shit too. Now the third reason, this is why we prune their ass. They fucking nuisance. They cover up growth sites. All right.
Right.
They cover up the shit that's gonna grow your bud, the shit that you need. That fan leaf that shit ain't gonna give you nothing.
Nothing. It's pretty.
It's pretty than the motherfucker, but
it is.
Yeah, but it's.
I'm looking at those right there.
Once you get up and you get good and confident in your grow game, and you know your nutrients is right, you'll have the confidence to take all them big ass motherfuckers out of the way, because you know that you got what's needed in your root zone to power that growth. But for now, you don't want to do all that, because we gotta leave room for error. You might fuck up. Right. Now the reason we prune is because, one, we don't want that fan leaf covering up a site that's gonna grow bud. Right. If the fan leaf covers up the site that's gonna grow bud, there's no food getting there. There's no light getting there. It's basically a big ass canopy just shading it, so it can't eat. Think about piglets or puppies. Bitch have 9 puppies. One of them gonna be the runt, but one of them gonna be a fat motherfucker. And that fat motherfucker bogart his way up to that titty before anybody. Hence the reason he's a fat motherfucker. Then you're gonna have one little motherfucker that just he can't cut it. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got the chops. Every time he get up in there, somebody pushing his little ass out the way. So that little ass motherfucker, that represents a fan leaf covering a bud site. Those are bud sites. That fan leaf will be covering that bud site. All right? So we got to get that out of there. The bud is what we want to grow. That bud is what we need. So we can't have it covering it. So you got to go. The second reason that we prune it is, if it's down here, all this shit down here, that ain't helping at all. The only thing that's helping, if you got a lot of light and it's coming through, if that light is hitting the bottom of the flow, that's wasted food. So if it ain't covering nothing, some people leave it. I leave it because I want it catching everything before it hit the flow. The reason I would remove it is because it's wasting nutrients. You know what I'm saying? It's a live part of the plant. To keep that shit alive, it's gonna take, resources. Do you want your resources going to all them goddamn fan leaves or to buds? And that's why a lot of people get rid of that shit. All that shit at the bottom, and your tent, your light is at the top. So it ain't gonna get to all this down here. I'm fortunate enough that I got this plant in a big ass tent where it's light everywhere. But if I'm in a tight area, ain't no light gonna be getting down here. And that shit gonna be drooping down and all that shit. We don't want to. That's wasted resources that the plant got to give to take care of this shit down here that ain't getting you nothing. So you get rid of it. One rule of thumb is you count your growth nodes. 1 growth node, 2 growth nodes, 3 growth nodes. Everything, none of that, gone. That's my rule of thumb for pruning with the photo plant. This is an auto. Autos are different, but with a photo, everything below that 3rd growth node, everything down there got to come off. Because your light ain't gonna be able to get to it. You're gonna get some little fucking flimsy bud.
Right, some airy motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's good for butter and pre-rolls and shit like that, but it's a waste of resources basically while you would prune.
Right. Because you want the plant to focus its energy on the buds that's getting the lights. Right. So everything below that 3rd growth node, that's why you want to cut it, because the light ain't getting down there. And if the light ain't getting down there, it ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the buds that's gonna develop down there are gonna be light, small, fluffy, Now you don't want that, and at the same time, it's taking away the energy from the bud at the top. So you want the plant to develop all its energy for the bud that's at the top getting the lights, So you just eliminate, him even sharing his energy with the ones at the bottom.
But before we start pruning these things, like, do y'all got any recommendations for any type of pruners, or like, because I've used some like snips on trying to, trim some buds, and man, they get sticky. The resin get caught up in there. So, okay, just
simple.
Any type of coating or anything that you need for that?
You know what I'm saying? All the shit all the sticky shit that was on our hands and on we were just cleaning them scissors. We want to keep that shit on the bud. So, that was just being early in the game and the bud not being dry enough.
Well, we'll pick that back up later on then.
Yeah, we just talking about topic then. Yeah, we just talking about pruning right now.
Yeah, we're gonna
And for pruning, you just need you a good clean pair of scissors.
I got
or trimmers.
You won't have to, you
won't be sticky at all if you
right.
Yeah, because right now at this point you shouldn't have any bud for it to be sticky.
If you stand above your plant and you look down and you see a leaf covering, you know what I'm saying, like bud sites, shit, you need to get light on them sites. If the light not hitting those bud sites, shit, you won't get anything. So, those bud site needs that food, so you need to remove that fan leaf, Like, don't go crazy and remove all the fan leaves, but you know what I'm saying, specifically you want to remove the ones that's covering the leaves, like covering bud sites. You want to remove the ones that's like on top of each other, you know what I'm saying? Ones that's all crumbled up, because if you don't, they're gonna be all crumbled up, all folded up, it's gonna be a mess. You won't get light to any of your, your bud sites because you have so many leaves just sticking out everywhere.
Yeah. Like you said, the look down method, and what I like to, as a general rule of thumb, is the look through method. For the reasons Bear said, airflow and light penetration. So your light penetration gonna depend on how strong your light is. If you got a weak light, you're gonna want to make sure that you good and prune, because your light ain't gonna be powerful enough to penetrate that canopy. So if you got a weak light, you want to make sure that you pruned up nicely. Secondly, just sit to the side and look and see if you can see through your plant.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't see through it, you need to remove some leaves. You got too much shit. And a lot of times, sometimes you got to remove bud sites as well. I had a plant that grew a lot of little bitty bud sites with little small branches that in each branch grew a set of 5-blade fan leaves.
Yes.
And they could just grow all in the middle of it till it just clutter that whole thing up. And you got to go in there, you got to remove fan leaves, and a lot of times you got to remove bud sites too. Because as much as you remove, that plant is going to focus that energy into other places on the plant. All right? Mm-hmm. So I like to have at least 10 good growth node, good node, main branches coming out that stem. That main stem in the middle, I like to have at least 10 of these.
Mm-hmm.
That give me 10 main buds. And you see off each one, it's going to give you some buds, growth nodes. All right. So if you think of it, you're going to have 10 of these that are going to give you 2 of these. So you're going to have at least 20 growth nodes. You're going to have at least 20 bud sites. You get rid of all this shit down here, and then the plant going to focus all that energy to those 20 bud sites. Mm. Like this plant is like, it's an auto, so I'm assuming it's about 2 weeks into its bloom phase. Another 3 or 4 days, I'm removing all this shit down here because I want the plant to focus all this energy to this up. 2 right here in this main. If this grows big enough, it's going to grow into that one and look like one big ass cola. But that's the reason I'm pruning. I'm getting rid of this so the plant focuses energy on this. Mm.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah.
And that's the number one reason that you
like
gonna
a
prune.
visual aid, bro.
Right. Here and here.
Classes
Like,
in session, nigga.
I got it.
Cut that shit down.
What you talking about?
And then it's gonna bring that shit up. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple.
To focus on here.
And don't and don't be scared. Don't rape the bitch. All right, don't rape her.
Right.
You could do it dirty. You know, a lot of hoes got to get choked
dirty.
up. A lot of hoes like to even get spit on here and there, but you know, it depends their flavor. But don't rape the bitch. Don't take it. Let her ask for it.
Yeah, spit on it.
Hey, bro, you know
that girl there's out of sight. Boy,
you know what section of the country I live in, boy. Yeah, you know how I go down here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But don't rape it. Don't take it. Don't take it. No, don't do that. That is a no-no.
Oh, whoa, bitch.
She might say, "Hey, Daddy, I want you to put your foot across my neck. Hey, do it, but don't take it. But don't take it.
Don't take it.
And
I don't know about that.
And secondly, if you ain't super confident in your nutrient game, or if you got problems, so if you got leaf problems, you don't need to be cutting on it. Because every time you remove a part of this plant, it's an injury. And that plant has to heal. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So if she already going through some shit, you can't go to cutting on her. You know what I'm saying? That's why I respect regular pimps versus drug dealer pimps. All right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You catching her while she depended on that narcotic. You know what I'm saying?
That narcotic.
Versus you going up there and just talking to bitch into selling her ass for you. That's a pimp nigga right there. I'm just convinced this hoe to sell her ass for me. Versus the nigga like, look, hey, shoot this shit into your arm, and then when you don't know where the fuck you at, I'm gonna send you out there and get sell your ass.
Right.
All right.
And you want some more. You need to do some things. Right. Some strange things. For my change, get some more.
So, you know, she don't go to cutting on you unless she is in good health.
Right.
If she doing bad, because think about it, if she already fucked up and you injure her, it's gonna be that much harder for her to heal.
Right.
They definitely need some bounce back. That's just one of the other things.
She need time to heal.
She need time to heal. If you,
she need time to heal.
The heavier you prune, the longer you're gonna have to give her to heal. If you do a heavy prune, you're gonna have to give her a week to get her shit together.
All right.
If you got a really if you got a really healthy plant, it's only gonna take her a couple of days. All right.
Right. Your root game right, she gonna be like, nigga, what? She
gonna bounce right back.
Like, leave, you don't come there, she's gonna be like, I got more leaves. Like, shit.
So just be, just be leery at the condition of her and and only cut what you need to cut. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them fan leaves, you might not need to cut her. Like if your plant, every plant ain't gonna grow bushy. Some plants might grow, they're not gonna have a whole lot of fan leaves. But a fan leaf might be covering a growth site. Don't cut it. Just tuck that bitch. Move it out the way. Tuck it behind another branch. Tuck it up on something. Just get it from over it. But don't cut it off, because if you ain't got enough, shit, you might be cutting off your lifeline and don't even know it.
Yeah, pruning is a tricky game. Like I say, if the plant ain't healthy, pruning ain't good. Like it's all type of, if you got a bushy plant, you might cut on it and think like, man, I really done damaged this plant. And you look at it, maybe like a week later, you be like, damn, like I knew I should have cut more, because in veg, it's going to grow right back. Now, I will say the difference between photos and autos, like that auto was on the clock, like Tree said, like as soon as that auto mature, it's going to go into, bloom. What we were saying about the trimming, we were speaking more in veg, like this whole trimming and pruning, you know what I'm saying, what we're talking about is more in veg, and like so far as and bloom, your pruning, you need to prune, but your pruning gets a lot more trickier in there, because like Tweed said, it injures the plant. And why is, you want the plant to focus all its energy on making buds. So any pruning you do, you need to make sure it need to be done at a time where the plant, is healthy and good, because any injury you cause to the plant is going to affect the plant from creating, doing this thing and creating buds.
Right.
So, basically don't go in there and be like, yeah, let me just get to cutting on the motherfucker all the time. When you prune, it needs to be scheduled. It needs to be at a certain time. You don't need to just go in there and cut on it all the time, because like I said, every time you injure the plant, you need to give it time to heal. And if you always cutting on it, you ain't giving the plant time to, do its thing. Now, I ain't saying that every time you go in there, you cut 1 or 2 fan leaves. I'm not saying that. But if you go in there and you cut, like, you got a handful of fan leaves every time you go in there to cut, you cut too much.
You're doing too much.
Right, you too happy with the motherfucking scissors, so schedule your pruning. It needs to be scheduled. And once the plant start to grow in buds, that's when your pruning needs to be all right. I only need to cut what's covering what's in the way, what I'm gonna keep and all that others,
Yeah, man. Hey, Breeze, you love jumping ahead, boy, jumping the bloom, boy.
Yeah,
one thing that
I started with the autos, because I ain't want folks like, I got the I had an auto, and they just went to pruning, and like, damn, this motherfucker just went to just going nuts on me, because like, autos, like I said, you really don't know once it's gonna go into flower, and if you ain't really paying attention, you get to cutting all the leaves off, you start to see some hairs, you're like, oh shit, this motherfucker is flowering. I mean, it's still going through its stretch. I'm just saying, be weary from, basically I was saying, be weary of when you prune.
Yeah. But and another reason, one of the things that you want to look out for when you're pruning, as far as the health of your plant when they're young, the second thing is you want to notice the shape and structure of how she holding up her leaves. We like to call these leaves praying up. I mean, sticking straight up in the air. That takes energy. That takes carbs. That takes fuel, power to push them leaves up like that. Now, if she was thirsty as fuck or overwatered, all these leaves would just be drooping down like that. They'd be hanging down like she'd just be sad.
Right.
Don't prune at that point. Don't cut them. You only want to cut them when they're up and happy and it's up in the air and they can hold themselves up. That's when you prune. You don't want to prune when they all droopy and that means something wrong. She thirsty. You've been overwatering. Overwatering, unfortunately, underwatering and overwatering will look kind of the same way. Both of them will make them droop. But the overwatering, they give her some kind of weird look. You might think she's starting to weirdo out on you. Right. But underwatering, she just going, bitch, I ain't got the energy.
Weirdo out.
Underwatering, that bitch is like she about to die. I ain't got the energy for shit.
Right.
For overwatering, it's the same thing, but she just look weird as fuck. So you want to make sure that you got a happy plant before you go to cutting on.
Right. So we do anything.
Yeah, everybody happy, everybody in good health, and everybody able to hold their own leaves up and shit.
So I know we talked about pruning these fan leaves, but what's topping? Like, is that all?
Topping.
Yeah.
Topping. It's another form of pruning. It's just a different part of the plant.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So we was calling pruning. Well, pruning is removing fan leaves and bud sites to promote growth. All right. Mm-hmm. Topping is a way to control growth or control height of growth. A cannabis plant originally is going to grow in the shape of a Christmas tree. So imagine a Christmas tree. There's a big point in the middle, all fat around the edge. So around the edge, all these gonna grow around the base of the plant. Then you're gonna have one bud sticking up in the middle. All right. That one bud is called your apical. It's the main stem, the main branch. Right. It's the big dog. Remember, in nature, the biggest is better. If it's the biggest one, it's gonna get everything. It's gonna get all the resources, all the energy, everything. So if you leave it alone, that one big ass branch in the middle is gonna demand all the resources from that plant. It is the dominant branch, the main one. Everything gonna go there. So that's why I grow real big, and all these right here grow real little all around the side. Now, if you notice, this plant, I got a lot of them. And that's where topping come in. Topping, when you cut the top of that plant off, the very top, now that plant thinks that all these side branches is that main branch. So now they getting that, divide that energy up and send it to all their ass. That way you got a whole bunch of main tops. So you went from one main top to 10 main tops. The way you do that is, after your plant get a certain age and healthy, you just gonna simply chop off the top of his head. We're gonna put a visual representation up there. We're gonna throw some pictures up there, but that's basically what you're doing.
Right. That from the image in the picture, the very top part of the bud with a two fan leaf sticking out at the top, you know, that's the head, like you say, cut the head off. But that's gonna create two more. So you're removing one, creating two. Yeah.
So if this was the main branch, to top it, you would cut that off right there.
Right.
And then this and this are both going to come up and become your main tops.
The top, yeah.
And then all these that would have been little down here is going to come up. That plant going to divide, going to start shooting that energy to all those side ones. Now I'm going to say, okay. Now, a lot of times, if I don't want a top, I do the same thing. I accomplish the same thing by what I like to do on a regular basis with plants and in life is I just bend that bitch over. You bend that bitch over, all the light gonna hit all these right here. And then the plant gonna think, okay, all right, these the main then. And then all these gonna start shooting up. And you ain't cut nothing. But that's going to require work. You're going to have to come in. You're going to have to keep bending that bitch over. I don't mind constantly bending the bitch over. All right? That's what I do. You know what
that's that stress training. The low stress.
That's what I do. And you just keep coming there and you keep bending the bitch over. You know what I'm saying? All these going to start coming up. So topping, basically, you just cutting that off and making these two grow. It's removing the apical dominance. I think the scientific name of it. Once you stop that apical dominance, the plant now thinks that the surrounding branches are the main branch. And instead of giving all that energy to that main stem in the middle, it gives it to everybody now.
Everybody getting it.
Everybody getting it.
Everybody eats, B.
Everybody getting it. It's a great way, or the main way, to increase yield. If you want to increase your yield, topper. Because if you don't topper, you're going to have one main branch. It's going to give you a real big fat ass bud and a whole bunch of little buds. But if you cut that motherfucker off, you're going to get a whole bunch of fat ass buds and then a whole bunch of little ass buds.
So I would assume when you top it, it'll grow wider then.
It'll grow wider.
Taller.
Vertical, yep. You're going to increase the width and decrease the height. That's a great way if you got a limited growth space.
Exactly, yep.
Right.
Right. So if you took it way, if you like, damn, I didn't keep up with my time, and I took it too far in veg, and you know, you're like, damn, it's getting too tall. Topping it is a good way to like, I kind of, you know, kind of stop it from just shooting straight up on you. But at the same time, you are creating more, you know, sites. So
So
you got to account for that spaces as well. You know, you stop it from going up, so it's going out. So you need to have that now. You need to have that room to go out, so you stop it from going up. Right. I don't like she's been topped, not topped, but pruned.
Man, she look clean.
There you go, right there.
What kind of plant is that?
This is purple lemonade. So that's why I topped that. Right there in the middle. And those are the two branches that grew out after I cut it in the middle.
Right there, yeah.
So that little part right there in the middle, that's how the plant would have kept growing, but I cut that off. And those two was the two growth nodes on the side. So imagine that right there the same way. The middle part is where I cut, and then those two big ass branches are those two that's coming out the sides. And that's all topping is.
All right. To make it wider.
Make it wider.
Stop it from, you know, make it wider, more fruitful. You know, stop the sucker from getting too tall on you. Definitely a method for that. Old topping technique, you know. And that's a good thing. You ain't got to be perfect at it, you know what I'm saying? Shoot. Took me years to get topping under control. Like, shoot. Hell, it took me, it was times I thought I was topping. Hell, I wasn't topping because I wasn't cutting it, you know. I was cutting half the head off, and the head was still, you know. So it was, you know, I'm cutting half the head off, and since it's in veg, it just took time, and motherfucker just grew back. You know, so it didn't grow too more. You know, it just, you know, it just waited a little while, and it just, you know what I'm saying, it kept back growing once it healed.
And if you don't get it, you know, from the pictures that we post, you can just Google topping cannabis plants, and 683 million motherfucking pictures gonna come up of people topping cannabis plants.
Right. It's such a common thing. It's common. It's easy. Just make sure your plant is healthy before you do any training or cutting out. Make sure it's together.